All right. So my name is Jason Stanworth. This is my final project for Exercise Science 4200. This project is about Sarah. A little background information on Sarah. She's a 70-year-old Caucasian woman. She's 5 foot 5 inches tall and weighs 112 pounds. This puts her in a healthy BMI range. She eats a well-balanced diet. She takes supplements for the things that she feels like she's not getting enough nutrition in. So her nutrition is pretty good, but as with all of us, it could always be better. None of us are perfect, but she's at least taking the steps she needs to be. And from there, her bone mineral density was also another concern. It's kind of on the lowish borderline. Um, and so this could be improved. This is going to improve with exercise, and she's focusing on that nutrition. And so from there, another thing with her medical history that I want to point out before we begin um, is her father passed away at 88 from complications of Alzheimer's. So I'd like to see her. This isn't presenting necessarily a worry, but I would like to see her participate in some brain games or things to help with that cognitive process and help her kind of in that other dimension as well, outside of the physical realm that we're going to be helping her in. So let's dive in. So the first section, or the first subtopic, is the cardiovascular exercise basics. So right now she is exercising for 90 minutes a week at a fairly moderate intensity, going to an exercise class 2 days a week that's specified for those with arthritis because she suffers from osteoarthritis. So for her to get those extra 60 minutes a week, really I don't think is going to be very hard. She's going to add in 2 more days of exercise and at a moderate intensity. Moderate intensity meaning she can still communicate while exercising and talk, but she's borderline out of breath, but not quite there. Kind of in that range is where we're going for as a good basis to do it. And she can reach these goals through various means, such as like other classes, Pilates, that type of thing. Walking is always a great one to help get that heart rate up and that your minutes in. Biking at her local gym if there's a local gym around. It didn't specify in her feedback if she had access to one of those or not, but just about everywhere you have access anymore. And we'll dive back into this topic again later on. The next thing is she needs to add a strength training regimen with that osteoarthritis. She really needs to be doing, as well as balance training, she needs to be doing load bearing exercises. So 2 to 3 days a week, full body. We want slow, controlled movements because we're trying to focus on that type 1 fiber conditioning or her slow fatigue muscle fiber to help her have more energy through her day, feel better, and be able to do more. And this can be done at home or in a gym. As we get to the end of this presentation where I give her full plan, I'm actually going to show a video of a at-home workout I have created. In this creation, there's also a paper I will always give to a client that shows the type of workouts. I like to give at-home modifications as well as being able to go to a gym. I feel that this is very important for those of us that have those days that we just don't feel like it, as well as if COVID or something hit again, we're living in that age. The next thing is stretching. Stretching is so important for all of us. We all need to be doing this 2 to 3 days a week, full body, full range of muscles, upper body, lower body, mid, core stretches, back stretches. She doesn't have issues with her knees, and this could be a good way to help prevent her from having more issues than she's kind of expressed in the past, those once a month times. It's really important to hold for 30 seconds and to breathe through the stretch. It should be a nice tug or pull, but not a force that you feel like you're going to hurt yourself. There's a limit, and it's all about improvement and personal improvement. Next is her balance exercises. So she will need to do balance exercises 2 to 3 days a week along with her stretching. I like to include this in Even for athletes that I've worked with in the past, it's really important to stretch and work on balance. And I feel like those go very hand in hand. That after stretching and kind of getting your muscles loose, you should then do your um, balance exercises. And so we're actually going to go back to stretching for a minute. Um, for Sarah, I would recommend static stretching as well as dynamic stretching. So I would recommend static for like in the mornings type of thing, more of kind of like a yoga or Pilates dynamic. And then dynamic stretching, I would recommend before her workouts. That's just going to help her stay safe, protect herself. So there's a couple of things these balance exercises do. They improve body awareness or like proprioception, where your body parts are in space around you and where things are in relation. It also improves your coordination, requires your whole body to help you stay upright. And we're doing this because she's at fall risk because of her steady score. And another thing is it improves reaction time. Balance reaction can help you if you slip or stumble and regain your balance, be able to react quickly before you hit the ground necessarily. So the next section, we're going to talk about a couple of the balance screenings that she can do, as well as the exercises she can do in this video. So the couple we're going to cover are the Get Up and Go test, the time chair stands, the Berg balance test, and dynamic gait index. And so we'll go from there in this video.
Okay, the following will include items from number 4 and number 5 regarding balance and balance training and tests and fall prevention. Kind of equal into one. So we'll start with some of our balance exercises we're going to do. We're going to do these 2 to 3 times a week. A lot of these are best done assistive. They're going to be things like one-footed standing. Make sure to have a support item with you or the individual, and holding the foot up almost to the knee or the knee region, and seeing how long we can balance. Setting a timer for 60 seconds and doing this 2 to 3 times, and doing it as well on the other foot 2 to 3 times. Going back to the original foot, trying with the eyes closed for 60 seconds. Make sure we're assisted or someone's with you. You're trying the eyes closed. Same with the other foot. Simple things like, can you step toe in front of the other? Nice and slow. And can you do it going backwards as well? This is a big key in balance training. Both directions. Next, we'll get into some of the assessments that you can do at home with someone or with a trainer. The first one we'll talk about is the Get Up and Go test. The Get Up and Go test is being able to stand up without arms. We're trying our best not to. Being able to stand up, walk straight for 10 feet, walk back, sit down on our chair, do this for time. You give them one practice run of 3 recorded times, and then you record the time to compare it against the norm reference data. The next one is the chair stand test, which is a 30-second interval of how many times you can stand up and sit back down without using your arms. When recording this, you record how many times with your arms if you have to use them, if the client has to use their arms as well. As well as the last 2 assessments, the Berg and dynamic gait. These are a little bit harder for the individual to do on their own, but definitely possible when working on their own balance training. Best recommended as long as someone is there for supervision. The Berg is a 14-item list that really should be assisted with someone that knows what's going on or has witnessed this test being performed. The dynamic gait, as well as about 8 challenges that include walking while turning the head in a straight line, walking backwards, going upstairs, as well as a few others. And that, as well, is best being practiced. The best practice would be doing it with someone else. So that is the balance training we're going to include and do 2 to 3 times a week, as well as doing the assessments to help prepare for the balance training, because they're great strength training additives as well as for our mental.
Cool. So as stated in that video, um, with these last two, it's really important to do these with someone, but it's also good for these clients, specifically Sarah, where she's fully capable for a lot of these after she's gone through them with her physician. And I recommend her reaching out to her physician to try these, or her physical therapist if she happens to be working one, to go through and work with these so that she can be familiar with them and be able to start to perform some of them safely at home in a safe, controlled environment. Oh, so we'll go to the next slide. So this leads us to our plan. There's a YouTube link here. So our plan is actually going to be the included full body workouts, as well as stretching, as well as her balance training. And all of this is going to be given and organized neatly onto something like a form that she can follow easily, that she can keep, something she can check off as she goes, because we always forget. Going back to those brain games again, we all need to be doing them. We always forget what we learn, and so it's really important for her to be able to have these in her access. So we're going to go